Africa is the second most populous continent on Earth, and it was home to many of humanity's most important historical cultures over thousands of years. From Togo to South Africa, the continent houses some of the world's most incredible ruins, including cliffside dwellings, mega amphitheaters, and monolithic towers that have stood for thousands of years. Here are the ancient places you need to see. 1. Knot Caves. The Knot Caves, tucked within the cliff sides of northern Togo, were used as dwellings by the local Moba tribes during the 18th and 19th centuries. A neighboring ethnic group, the Chakasi, often attacked the Moba, kidnapping their people to hand over to European slave traders in exchange for guns and horses. The caves provided shelter and helped the Moba evade capture by the slave trade. Translated from the Moba language, Knot means hidden, which is the perfect description of this site. When standing at the entrance, which consists of a metal ladder going down the cliff's edge, you can't see what's below. Knot Cave itself houses 134 ancient granary vessels, as well as a few of the bows, arrows, and quivers of its past inhabitants. There were many more of these artifacts when the structure was discovered, but most have been looted and are no longer present. 2. Volubilis. Volubilis, North African archaeological site, located near Fez in the Jebel Zirhan plain of Morocco. Under the Mauritanian king Juba II in the 1st century BC and the 1st century AD, Volubilis became a flourishing center of late Hellenistic culture. Listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1997, Volubilis is an exceptionally well-preserved example of a town with many different cultural influences spanning from high antiquity to Islamic times. African and Christian influences are also visible in the construction and architectural ornamentation that make up the ancient town. 3. Great Zimbabwe. During the late Iron Age of Zimbabwe, Great Zimbabwe was the bustling capital of the kingdom. This ancient site once housed as many as 18,000 people and spanned over 1,700 acres, now the largest ruins in sub-Saharan Africa. Construction of the medieval city began in the 11th century and continued until the 15th century. The ruins are home to 3 distinct architectural groupings: the Hill Complex, the Valley Complex, and the Great Enclosure. All are built with an extremely impressive drystone technique that doesn't use any mortar to keep the stones in place. 4. Adam's Calendar. Discovered by accident in 2003 by a South African pilot, Adam's Calendar is often referred to as African Stonehenge, though it predates both Stonehenge and the Great Pyramid of Giza by tens of thousands of years. More than 75,000 years old, this series of stones could be the oldest man-made structure on Earth, and it is the only example of a completely functional, mostly intact megalithic stone calendar in the world. 5. Luxor Temple. On the east bank of the Nile River in the city of Luxor lies the oldest open-air museum in the world, the Luxor Temple. Constructed in approximately 1400 BC, the Temple of Luxor was built to worship Ammon-Ra, considered by ancient Egyptians to be the god of the kings and the king of the gods. The temple was built by Amenhotep III 1390–52 BC, completed by Tutankhamun 1336–27 BC and Horemheb 1323–1295 BC, then added onto by Ramesses II 1279–13 BC. If you like video, please subscribe.